Good morning. Well, this is an exciting day for Mason and Whitney. They got their offer accepted on late Saturday night, and the sellers gave us $4,000 off of the asking price. They just lowered it $10,000, so that's a nice, chunk for them to absorb so quickly. And then they also, through a couple of counters, gave us $4,500 in closing costs, which will cover my buyer's closing costs. And then they also gave us the home warranty, so that's cool. So now today I'm headed over to meet Mason and Whitney to do our home inspections. And that all includes the home inspector, the roofer, and the termite. So if those three come out and do their inspections, if they feel like we need anything, then we'll do according to whatever they're needing. The only thing really left is an AC person and a plumber. If the home inspector believes that maybe a plumber or an AC guy needs to come out, then we'll order that out as well, so we can make sure everything is in excellent condition, that there's no issues. Other than that, everything's going good. It's going smoothly, which is nice. And we're supposed to be closing by the end of next month, so that'll be great for them. And then they can be able to move into their new home. I want to talk to you a little bit about the Benzer. Once the home inspection is completed, we go through with the home inspector through the home of everything that he found, how minor, how major it might be. And then the clients and I sit down and we go through the major things and the minor things, or things are just a pet peeve to them. And we kind of evaluate what really needs to be on that Benzer. And so what it is, it's a document that we respond to the seller asking for certain things or replaced. And then they have an option to come back to us and tell us yes or no. And then if they tell us no or just partial, then my clients have the option to either accept that answer or to cancel the contract, and then they get all the earnest money back because of the fact that if the sellers are not willing to do everything they want, and the buyers are not willing to accept what the sellers are willing to give them, then they have the right to cancel the contract and get their funds back, because of the fact that we can't come to the meeting of the minds. So we will kind of go over that today, and we'll find out exactly what we need to put on the Benzer and then submit that. We have 10 days to submit this Benzer to the sellers. We don't want to be too early in submitting it, because the fact that if we submit it early, we lose our due diligence period. Our due diligence period here in Arizona is typically 10 days unless otherwise noted. And if we put it in, say we do the Benzer today, which is Tuesday, and we turn it in on Wednesday, then the next 7 days that we have, we've lost. And that is not an out for my clients. So we definitely don't want to be too hasty on this decision, that we want to kind of hold back a little bit on time frame as to giving the Benzer back to the sellers so they can reply to us in case, my buyers, if they want to change their mind, they can. And they can just say, we don't accept things as it is, and they can walk away and get their earnest money back. I've never had that to happen, but there's a first time for everything. And but we want to use our 10 days. If the buyers want to, we can use it all the way up to the very last moment. Most of them do not wait the whole 10 days unless we're waiting on a report from one of the inspectors or an issue to be fixed. Typically they turn it in the day or the next day of the inspections, if we've got all the information together. We've been able to get together to put the Benzer together on what they're wanting repaired or replaced, and then we move forward. But that's totally up to the buyers, and I do let the buyers know that if they turn it in before their 10 days due diligence, they do lose the remainder of the time that we have left within that 10 days. So that is something that they need to be aware of. Other than that, that's pretty much what the Benzer. So we'll kind of see what happens today with the inspections, and then Whitney and Mason and I will sit down and go over what's been great inspection. There was very little bit on the report. Their home inspector, Jim, he found a few of the GFIs were not, the plug-ins were not GFI protected, so 3 of those need to be replaced. The kitchen sink faucet, the sprayer doesn't return back to the other mode, so it has something to do with the air pressure on that one. So we're going to ask for that to be replaced, and the other stuff is just minor, so we're not going to worry about that. The termite inspector came back with a clean report. That's fabulous. He did note a little bit of algae growing on the trim, and you'll see that on the video part of this inspection report that we're kind of giving to you guys. And then the roofer is going to be there any minute to do the roofing inspection, and we'll hear from what he has to say via email, because we're no longer at the property right now. We have left, and we don't need to be there for the roofer because he just needs to be on the outside of the property on the roof to check it out. So we'll get his report tomorrow. Everything else is great, and now we just have to jump through one more hurdle, and that would be the appraisal. And if we get a good appraiser, we should be good to go. Otherwise, they may come back and say the house is not appraised, and that's kind of not a true statement, because now it's below market value since they got it at the price that they did. So we will address that in a couple of weeks when it happens. Other than that, we are good to go. On to the next step.